Hello everyone, my name is William Ripley. First and foremost, I wanted to thank you so much for being here today. Before we get started, I wanted to do a quick sound and audio check to make sure you could hear me. So if you could, please type in the question box and let me know, yes, I can hear you, but then also your name and what part of the country you're from. I have friends from all over the United States with us on the call today, so before we get started, I wanted to make sure that the audio is doing perfectly. It looks like we have Brian says, yes, I can hear you from California. Connie says, yes, checking in from Texas. I got Claudia Rude coming to us from Riverside, California, says, yes, I can hear you. It looks like we have my old friend Dave Reed from Jackson, Mississippi, says, yes, I can hear you. Brenda from Texas. We also have my good friend Rebecca from Las Vegas. The comments are coming in fast and furious, guys, but it looks like you can hear me, which is the goal I wanted to accomplish. So before we go any further, I wanted to do some quick housekeeping notes so that you can get the best out of this webinar. You see, you registered for this webinar, but not only did you register for it, you blocked off your calendar and you actually made it here on time and a little bit early, which shows an extreme dedication to your success. So please, please do yourself a favor. Shut out of all distractions, close out of your email box. If you're at the office, close the door and tell people not to bother you, and take lots of notes. But above anything else, be sure to take action. The best laid plans are useless unless action is placed behind them. So before I tell you about our special guest who's going to teach you everything you need to know about how to list 28 FSBOs in the next 28 days, I also wanted to tell you that I hold your time in the highest esteem of respect. So what I have planned for you today is going to be a very content-rich, action-packed webinar, and I'm going to guarantee you up front that you're going to have a great time. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about our special guest, Mr. Hot Pratt today. Haas is one of the country's foremost leading authorities on how to list FSBO properties. Haas is a nationally recognized expert and authority when it comes to getting yes from difficult prospects. To illustrate his uncanny ability to handle any seller objection and skyrocket listings for agent, Haas was recently nominated Real Estate Marketer of the Year for his participation in creation of the Listing Boss, the definitive and most powerful lead generation and conversion system the real estate industry has ever seen. Today, there are over thousands and thousands of members participating in that program. Haas is considered to be the expert at listing properties, and he is going to share with us exactly how to list 28 FSBOs in the next 28 days. Haas, are you here with us on the line today?
Yes, sir. William, how are you today?
I'm doing excellent. I wanted to let all my friends know that we will be having a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions, please hold all of your questions until the end, but we will stay here as long as it takes to make sure that we answer every single one of your questions. So with that, Haas, I think that we should go ahead and get this live training started.
Awesome, William, man. I appreciate that. That was an awesome, incredible introduction. Thank you for having me. Thank you guys for attending, and I will back up what William just got done saying is I value, respect your time as well. I promise you that I'm going to give you the goods today. I'm going to give you a webinar that's going to be packed full of meat and tangible things that you can take and you can implement in your business today. Because nothing is more annoying than attending these trainings and getting no value out of them. So that's not going to happen today. That's my goal, is to leave every one of you better than I found you. And I'll tell you this, sometimes, people, they look at this, they say 28 FSBOs in 28 days. How do you do that? I can't do that. Here's the thing I can tell you. The only thing that I coach or the only thing I teach are things that I have done. So I have listed 28 FSBOs in 28 days. I want to show you how I did it, but also how I would do it even better and different today. And that's how I'm going to show you how to break this down. It's going to be a step-by-step system for attracting being the key word, and listing FSBOs. I actually love FSBOs. And I'll tell you more about why FSBOs are so important throughout the webinar, but I'll tell you, when I first got in real estate, I moved to Dallas, Texas, a place where I didn't know anybody. I get in real estate, and I wanted to list homes because my mentor at the time said, you got to list to last. If you want freedom and you want to have more balance, then you need to put more signs in the ground, because you're not making money till you're making money in your sleep. If you don't have signs in the ground and you're not listing homes, then you're going to be working the weekends, and you're going to be working when nobody else is working because you don't have leverage. Focus on listings. And it was the best advice anybody has given me. Didn't have to work weekends, put lots of signs in the ground, and I'm going to show you how to do that, and with the goal of you having more freedom in your business and your life so you can go spend the time doing the things that you want to do. Now, and I'm going to, let me make sure we can, there we go. So here's what we're going to learn. I'm going to give you the proven ways to read the FSBO's mind. I'm going to show you how to build a listing producing machine, right? A step-by-step machine. You guys are going to see this, and you're going to, light bulbs are going to go off. A lot of you are going to see this and be like, oh, wow, that's exactly what I need to be doing. And I'm going to lay it all out. I'm going to show you how to get the FSBO to tell you yes. I'm going to give you the 90-day execution plan, and I'm going to give you the best scripts. I mean, words are currency. My goal is to give you the words to go out there and use and turn those words into money. And that's what I'm going to help you with today. I actually love this this quote. If you guys can see the, if you look at the screen, what do you guys see that stands out in this? Genius is the realm of devotion to a craft of daily study, sacrifice, and endless practice, while the rest of the world chases shiny toys that seem important in the moment. Here's what I'm going to tell you. This is not going to be a shiny object that I'm going to show you today. This is not going to be a magic pill. This is going to be a step-by-step system that works, but it only works if you do. And it's going to turn every effort that you apply to it, and I'm going to show you how to 10x the result, but it takes your effort. It's going to take your work. In fact, me personally, I said, like, I've lived it. I've done it. I've knocked on over 100,000 doors. I've made over 200,000 prospecting and sales calls. I've presented over 2,150 kitchen tables. I've spoken over 1,300 live seminars in over 48 states. I've hosted over 882 live webinars like you're attending right now online. Like, this is what it's all about. It's about taking what we learn and then applying it and teaching it and doing it in the market. And I do this. This is actually my family. People ask me why I do what I do. Obviously, it's my family is my why, but it's more for for even my customers and my coaching clients, my community, is to help you get better at what you do, so you can spend more time investing in your kids, investing in your relationships, investing in other places outside real estate. Being able to take the vehicle we have and be able to use it to where we have more freedom. That's what today's about. It's about freedom. It's about not chasing the freaking buyers that are writing 15 different offers just to get a deal. It's about working smart, about having the freedom and living that entrepreneurial lifestyle, being able to travel when you want, do what you want, being able to spend time with the ones that you love, however it is that you wish to spend that time. For me, I love traveling, speaking, teaching other people how to do what we do, how to do what I'm going to show you today. We have an annual conference. You can see here, this is actually last year and this year, where we have 200 to 300 agents come in every year from all around the country, including Canada, to come in and learn the best strategies over 3 days to go take back to their markets. We've had 6 different events sell out this year alone from people coming in and learning what I'm going to teach you today. So I tell you that because I'm not guessing. This is stuff that we are literally at the front of the lines in every market, looking at what's working, what's not working, making the changes, figuring out how the buyers and sellers are reacting different. How do we get them to convert? How do we increase those conversion rates? So we're constantly working with people from all over the country. And today you're going to get a slice of what we do and what we see. But know that this stuff isn't guesswork. This is stuff that's real world, real time, what's working today, and it will work in every single one of your markets. There's not a single market on anybody who's on this webinar that these things that I'm going to teach you won't work. You do them, you'll have more freedom. So let's dive into it. You ready? All right. And like I said, we will open it up for a live Q&A at the end as well. We're going to start with number 1. You got to think right. You have to think right. It all starts with the FSBO mindset, right? Not only your mindset, but also the FSBO's mindset. Understand this, that things are changing in real estate. right? We're entering into a new era of real estate. As real estate has evolved, so has the value we bring and how we position it, what our unique value proposition is. But here's the thing. There's a lot of things out there you control, you don't control. There's things you control. Here's what I want to break this thing down. No matter what wind of change takes us, no matter what direction we go, understand in real estate, these are the most important activities that you must be doing. These are the top 4. If you came to me and say, hey, Hoss, I want to double your business and I want to double my business. Awesome. What are your high leverage activities? Here's what I'm going to make it real easy for you. Write them down. If you don't have a pen and paper, write them down, because it's going to be like drinking from a fire hydrant today. It's going to be like shooting from an Uzi. I mean, this stuff's going to come at you. So here's the thing, is these are the big 4 things that you control: prospecting, presenting, building relationships, and leading. Prospecting, presenting, building relationships, and leading. In fact, we have bracelets made in our coaching community. You know, we come, to our events, we indoctrinate you into this philosophy. That's why we have bracelets. I'm like, look, I want this belief system around every one of your wrists all the time. If you're inputting a listing, I want you to ask myself, is this one of my high leverage activities? Nope. Next, move on down the road, do something else. That's in the big 4. Hey, I need to go deliver this sign across town. Should I do that? Is it one of your big 4? Is it prospecting, presenting, building relationships, or leading? I want you to understand this. This right here is the most important thing that you can do. And let me back up, because this is important to know. Is when I say that, I mean this is what I'm talking about, of doing as many presentations as you possibly can, getting in front of way more people. It takes this work. Anything that pulls you away from this work is a distraction, and it's preventing you from getting to where you want to be. So eliminate that. Get smart with your time, because we're going to show you today on how to apply that time, but you got to understand what your time is worth. And you got to start saying no, and you got to know what to say no to and what to say yes to. And these are the most important things. If any agent comes to me, we hear it all the time, hey, Hoss, I need to make money like right now. I just heard it today. Somebody said, like, look, I've just got back in the business. I got to make money like right now. What do I do? You know what I said? I said, go through this webinar. Go through this. This is what you need to be paying attention to, right? So think of what those things are that are pulling you away from those high leverage activities. So as it applies to FSBOs, understand that these are the facts. 74% of all FSBOs will eventually hire an agent to sell their home. 74%, 89% of all buyers purchase their home through a real estate agent. The typical FSBO home sold for 25% less than the agent-assisted sales. 73% of sellers would use the same agent again, but less than 20% actually do. I'm going to repeat that. Will you guys write that down? Write this down. 73% of sellers would use the same agent again, but less than 20% do. What does that tell you? You don't follow up. You don't stay in contact with your past clients. You don't focus on the 4 things and the 4 high leverage activities, which, number 1, building relationships. Build relationships with your past clients and people that have used you. The reason is because the cost per customer and the cost to acquire a new customer is increasing rapidly. It's going to continue to increase. So you need to stop focusing on the next transaction and focus on the lifetime value of that client. That's what's going to determine how successful you are in the next 10 years, of being able to not only convince them and persuade them to use you the first time, but also be able to follow up with after that and to strengthen the relationship to the point to where they not only did they use you the first time, they're going to use you for the next transaction and the next transaction, and then refer you to all of their friends and family. Put more focus on it, because most agents do not. And this stat speaks volumes. Statistically, if you call a FSBO 3 times, here's the numbers. You're going to speak to 68% of them. So 68% leads to conversations. Conversations to appointments is 19.2%. The actual appointments, set appointments to actual appointments, 78% show rate. It's huge. Actual appointments to contracts is 54%, and contracts to transactions is 66%. Here's what I'm going to tell you what these stats will show and break down for you. Is FSBOs answer their phones. They answer their phones more than any other niche in the industry. I mean, nobody even comes close to 68% in that number. So you have a target market that's a source for putting signs in the ground, which leads to freedom, which leads to less time with buyers in your car. In fact, I've only worked with one buyer my entire life, and that's a fact. I literally said no to buyers, always focused on listings, because I wanted what? The freedom, and that's what it takes. So understand that this source of FSBOs is such an amazing opportunity for every one of you, because they answer their phone, hello, I'm selling my home. Like, what else do you need for an opportunity? I mean, it blows my mind how every agent's not aggressively going after FSBOs. You know why this is important? Because this is why. Is part of marketing, like let's say in a farm, if you have a farm area of 1,000 homes and you go, okay, I'm going to start marketing to them. Part of step one in marketing is finding out of those 1,000 people, who are the 5 to 15 in there that are going to be buying and selling in the next little while. So what FSBOs do is they take that need to have to do that away, which it saves you money. Because it's called racking the shotgun. Hey, I want to sell my home. That costs you money. If you go to a niche that's already done it, think about it. Think different, think bigger. There's riches and niches. And there's niches everywhere, and you got to think more niches, because you can position yourself in a niche better than you can without the niche. And stop trying to be all things to everybody. Define who you are, who you serve, who you don't, and define that niche. Because if you want more listings, you want more signs in the ground, that's the fastest way to do it. And there's 3 things that you need to do to win this FSBO game. And I'll tell you, this is the 3, and I'm glad I had some good direction at the beginning on this, because a lot of people go about it the wrong way. Number 1 is you must provide the value to the FSBO, period. Give them everything that they want. I'm going to show you some examples of what you need to be doing today. Next is you got to present solutions. They're selling their home on their own for a reason. We got to know what that reason is. We're going to find out what that reason is, and then we're going to present the solutions that overcome it. Next is presenting results, or producing results. I'm going to show you what results they look for and what it is that will get them to take action. And here's what I want you to do. This is an action step. Is I want you to define success. So you're here for a reason. You want to learn how to put more signs in the ground. You want to learn how to list more homes. Let me ask you something. What does success look like? What if you get what it is that you came here to find? What is it that you're achieving? What is it that you're doing? What is it that you're accomplishing? So define success, and I would encourage you to do this in anything. Anytime you say, hey, you know what, I want this, just write down what does success look like. Because if we don't know what it is that we want, then we just scatter through life or scatter through a strategy. We don't know when we reach success. So for example, an example of what would success look like is I am the top FSBO listing agent in Collin County, Texas by January 1st. What is top? Listing 19 FSBOs per month and getting buyer side referral fees from 33% of their purchases. Boom, right? Get excited. Something, it's a mission. It's a success statement. Define this, because this here, if you don't know what it is you want, then nobody else will either, right? So make sure you define that. Now, let's step into strategy, because this is where a lot of people go wrong. A lot go wrong here, because they underestimate what it actually takes in the gap to convert to FSBO, right? So we're going to identify the marketing. I'm going to take you through this strategy sheet here, and we're going to not only define the target plan, the domination plan, but I'm going to take you through this. And if you don't understand everything I'm going to take you through, that's okay, right? But I want you to understand how important it is that we define this strategy before we start. It's winning before we start. So think about this. In your market, you have FSBOs. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to define the strategic target plan. We want to go to your market and identify who it is in that market we're looking for. So write this down. You need a target market, you need the key targets in that market, and you need the sources of the leads for those markets. So, for example, I want all the FSBOs in Collin County, Texas, or wherever you are, right? And in that, my key targets are going to be this area of 75093, and I only want to service the 250,000 to 1 million. That's going to be my target market, right? So, and this would be custom to you, right? It's, as you can see, we're not trying to be the jack of all trades. We're identifying who we are going to be going after. The next are the sources, the Red X, right? The Red X is the #1 lead provider in the country for this information. They'll send you all the FSBOs every day. Every FSBO that advertises, their address, their phone number, their info, you get it all. Like, that's important data to have. And then VRBO, vacation rental by owner, referrals from the SOI. So define what your target, who your target plan is and who we're going to be going after. Once we do that, that's the easy part. Because once we do that, now we want to come up with our domination plan. Our domination plan is this, is you can handcuff me, blindfold me, put me in an airplane, fly me somewhere, throw me out of the airplane, go, here you are, you're in a brand new market, go figure it out. Here's what I would do, is I would take them through this I would go through this exact strategy sheet, and I will tell you this. I will be in the top percentage of those agents in any target market I want to go after within 12 months by taking them through this process, by going through this process. So here's what you want, is you want a brand promise, especially in FSBOs, because keep in mind, for whatever reason, they don't think they need your services. They may not know an agent, so they just may be taking the path of least resistance, right? I mean, literally, they're just going through the line at Home Depot one day. They just talked last week about selling their home. They see the FSBO sign there. They grab it. They say, well, let's give it a shot. Like, they don't know. You can't draw these conclusions of why people decide to sell on their own. Everybody has different reasons. But regardless, we got to make it crystal clear what it is that we do different. So positioning tools is another one. So positioning tools is this, is anytime you go into any market, you want to have a tool that makes it just so unbelievably obvious that you're the best choice, unbelievably obvious that you're an authority and a force to be reckoned with. Like one of your books, like let's say if you had your own book, right? At Recharge, we taught people how to write a book. Like, it's why, because that's important. Because if you have your own book, I mean, geez, a lot more people will tell you yes, and your letters and your marketing is going to have even a bigger impact. It's a positioning tool. I'm going to show you a free report that works incredibly well as well. You have a Kindle book, 8-page reports, whatever, right? Next is you want to have programs. I'm going to show you some examples today of some programs. Programs that position you. You also want to have people who position you, like other FSBOs, your lenders, the mailman. We had a client that would give the mailman $5 for every FSBO that he found on his route, and he just had an envelope. Mailman would bring in his little note card, write the addresses down. Next day, it'd be $10 in the mail, right? So next is the impact statement. What is your impact statement? I call these, think of a playlist. These are phrases, an impact statement that captures their attention, right? That we'll sell your home the fastest, most amount of money, 100% guaranteed. My 89-point marketing plan is the reason I sell homes the fastest, most amount of money. Certified pre-owned program sells homes for 2.7% more money in 48 days faster than the MLS average. These are all impact statements that get people's attention. So if we're on the phone, we need to draw them back in. We'll use an impact statement, right? I'll tell you this in conversion as well. X factor, which I will show you some X factors in a profit maximizer. I believe in every one of your markets and every single one of your, in every one of your strategies, you got to figure out ways to make more money. Because there's two ways to grow your business. Make more money, do more transactions, right? So figure out how you can do both. Make more money per transaction, but also do more transactions. And there's a lot of riches in these niches where most agents don't even think of where to operate as far as how to extract the maximum amount of results from it. All right. Next is your strategic marketing plan. 80% of sales happen on the 5th to 12th contact. Less than 10% of agents make more than 3 contacts. People just don't follow up. People that, and when you do follow up with people, they don't want to hear from you typically. Why? Because we fail at the rest of the stuff, right? We failed at this. So we got to start figuring out how do we have, I mean, it's the same thing. Why do we have 78% of sellers would use the same agent, but less than 10% do? Why? Because there's no follow-up. If you don't have follow-up in FSBOs, you're toast. You're not going to be successful. This is a waste of your time. You're not going to pick up a phone and call FSBOs one time and expect to get results. You won't. It's not going to happen. It's a process. And it's a process that has to be led by value, and it's a process that has to be so consistent that the FSBO recognizes it. You know how many of those FSBOs that I listed told me the reason I'm listing with you is because you were by far the most aggressive and consistent agent that was in contact with me. Nobody even came close. You were the best. And I heard that every day, right? Every day, because that's what it takes. So for you, you want to make sure we're maximizing that through our campaigns, but also making sure we're leveraging autotivity, right? Autotivity is a word that I made up called it's activity that can be automated. You know, all of your lead importing, your direct mail, your letters, all these things as marketing that's going out, you want to get this stuff automated. If you don't have a system doing it, then somebody needs to be doing it. But it needs to be happening. It doesn't need to focus on you, because if it focuses on you, it won't get done every day. We got to make sure that we're leveraging everything we can to make sure the system operates. You need to have a 1% focus. One thing that you do, just like the HLAs, prospecting, presenting, building relationships, and leading. In 1% focus is you just need to be on the phone converting these people that your marketing is leading you to. Being able to have more face-to-face using strategy sessions. Doing more face-to-face in preview presentations. Of just getting in front of them. We got to do more, and you got to know what your 1% focus is. And then last is the wild card tactics, which I'll show you some examples of. And you also need an edge factor. I'd stop calling myself a real estate agent. Why? Because it doesn't do much value to most people, right? You go to the FSBOs, calling yourself a realtor or a real estate agent, it's not going to do you any good. Call yourself what you are. Call yourself a real estate strategist, right? It sounds better. It sounds different. You want to be able to create that separation as much as you possibly can. All right, let me show you some examples of this. Provide value. This is the most preferred FSBO bait. If I'm going fishing for FSBOs, here's what I do. I give them everything they want and more. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mail this. And I'll show you some examples. Some of you guys will get this today to mail. But this is the 90 things you can't afford to neglect when selling your home. This is an 8-page report. Beautiful. People love this thing. I'm telling you, man. We have clients who put this thing in their back of their trunk. They have these things rolling around town. I'll show you some examples as well. And they're just rolling around town, giving these things to people, FSBOs, mailing them to FSBOs. I mean, they love it. This is a positioning tool. This is something like, hey, welcome to real estate. Look, I want to help you. Here's the 90 things you can't afford to neglect when selling your home. And it's completely custom. Here's an example. There's Miss Monica Benavides. She mails this thing to FSBOs. It's all custom to her. Man, already, as soon as they get that, first day, it's already separated her from everybody else immediately. And that's what I want to help you guys do, is help you identify what these positioning tools are and how do we use them to be able to clearly provide the value, but also separate ourselves from the other agents. So here's what you need. You need to have this. If you're going to be successful in our strategy, we got to have 5 core value offers. Meaning, remember, we're going to lead them with the value. So what are your 5 core value offers? What is it that you offer your marketplace that's free? It's a value. It's a tool. It's a gift. It's of a clear, just giving, of being able to, coming from serving, a service. Just look, you're a real estate professional. So there's a lot of resources out there for buyers and sellers. They don't need you, and they don't think they need you, do they? They come to you and they have 90% of the work done. So what we want to do is we want to help you be the source for their information, help you become the expert to where you're actually the one educating them. You're the one providing that information, not Zillow, not online, and all these places that people get information. We want that to come from you. So how we do that is we're going to equip you with these value offers that when people consume the information, they automatically think, man, this Adrian sure is a smart person. Man, that is a great idea. Or, wow, I sure am glad I sat through that training with Allie. Man, that was amazing. Right? That's what we want to do. So what are your 5 core value offers? You can see some here. I'm going to show you some examples throughout the rest of the training, but I want you to understand what is it that you offer. Do you offer a free home evaluation? Do you offer seller disclosure notices? Do you offer the contracts and addendums to the sellers if they want them? Do you offer your marketing plan? Do you offer any free reports? Putting content out there, letting people consume it. Books. Do you give any of your own books away? Any ebooks, Kindles? Do you have a vendor list that you share? Do you have a training webinars that you consistently do that you're educating your buyers and sellers? Just consistently. I've done over 900 of these. I do them all the time. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people watching right now. I'm educating you. It's live. It's real time. Right? Are you doing any of that? Are you doing any strategy sessions? Any live virtual presentations? No. I said I told somebody this yesterday. I said if I'm selling real estate today, I'm not leaving my office. They said, why? I said, I do everything virtual. Everything. 95% of my staff is virtual. I was on the meeting yesterday with one of my best team members who lives in Jamaica. This guy's absolutely amazing. Amazing teammate. Unbelievable at what he does. Never met the guy face to face. But man, I tell you, these meetings and technology allow you to reach people and leverage in ways you've never dreamed possible. What do you offer as far as testimonials, free signs, right? So think about those things, and I'll show you some examples as well to kind of give you an idea of what I mean by that. But not only are we going to want to offer those, we're also going to need the solutions. So if I were to ask you the question, what is it you do to different than everybody else? What is it you're going to do to get my property sold? What is it you do to market my home? Can you answer those questions? And I'm telling you, I've done many presentations in front of many agents. I've got over 4,500 one-on-one coaching hours, and most realtors don't understand what their solution is. And here's what I want you to get. If you get nothing out of this webinar, get this. People don't care about you. They only care about themselves, their time, and their money. I know that seems harsh, but those are the facts. They don't care that you're nice. They don't care what you look like. They don't care they don't care about that stuff at all. They only care about themselves, their time, and their money. So you want to think of what is it that you offer? What solutions do you bring to the table that saves people time? What is it that you bring to the table that saves people money? And it's not your experience. It's not that you're with the best brokerage. It's none of those things. It's solutions. What are the solutions that you offer? Because you can sell solutions better than you can yourself. It'd be pretty weird if you're just selling yourself all the time. Somebody said the other day too, they said, well, what do you sell? Well, I sell myself. I'm like, well, good luck with that. Who's going to buy it? That's not a good strategy. Sell yourself, right? We're never selling ourselves. We're selling the solution to the pain that our prospect has. That's how we get results. Let me show you some examples. Take a look at the screen. Look at the screen right here. Home on the left is a certified pre-owned home. It's $298,000. Comes with a 3-year warranty, 500-point inspection. It's certified pre-owned. All that's been done. Home on the right is not a certified pre-owned home. It's $285,000 and everything's to be negotiated. Which one of these homes is going to sell the fastest? That's right, the home on the left. Why? Because of this. It's certified. In fact, if you're not doing the certified pre-owned program, you're leaving so much money on the table, it's not even funny. It is unbelievable how effective that program is. Because, it's why homes sell for 4.8% more money in 28 days faster than MLS average, because it's certified. And injects certainty in a transaction that otherwise lacks certainty. Right? Think about if you have your sellers, they already did the inspection, everything's fixed on the inspection report, they already bought the home warranty, the home's already been staged. That's like the dream listing. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to slap a brand on it, and we're going to market it and position it. And our clients are going to see value in it. They're going to see value in not only that, but they're also going to see value in all of the other programs that we offer, other solutions, right? Like a buyer guarantee or a seller guarantee. Take a look at this. You can see this article. This is an article that Keller Williams did on myself. That's not me, the bald guy. I'm actually the guy standing there with my sign in front. But you offering a guarantee, you can see on that sign that says, move up to this house, I'll buy yours for cash. Some people look at that and they'll be like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? Well, because, I'm always looking for ways to invest my money. I'm always looking for places for my investors to invest their money. So if somebody has a deal that they're willing to, to sell a property at a good price, then guess what? I've got the money and we got the investors to back it and to buy it. So for you guys, you need to be able to look at how do you find opportunities in those niches and ways to provide more value. Where most people look at that and be like, oh my gosh, I can never do that, and they just shut it off from receiving it, not even thinking beyond that thought and going, oh my gosh, maybe my investors would appreciate that, right? Don't miss those things, right? Don't miss those things that a lot of other people miss because they shut themselves off from receiving. You know, especially in marketing, there's so many different creative things and strategies that you can use in real estate to generate and convert more leads. Be open to making it, to be open to implementing new strategies and ideas, right? It's important, because if you're not, then you're always going to be what? The same, what, with no new tricks. You're going to be expecting this different results doing the same things, right? So understand the power of guarantees. Understand the power of offering the opportunity to do that. Now, what about a book? I talked about books. I think that, you know, I believe that every agent should have a book, because it's the number one thing that you can use to leverage and position yourself. In fact, you could offer it, and, you know, being able to offer it as a gift, being able to do that, but also that letting that lead into ways to do more webinars, more webinar trainings, more educational trainings, right? Think of what you could do to be able to bring more value to a community, especially FSBOs, and educating them about what it is that they're doing. That's what I want to help you do, because that right there is the secret to success. The only way that I was able to list as many homes as I did was because in a market where I didn't know anybody, and I see this time and time again. I mean, I'm going to show you the FSBO Assault program. Some people say it's the best program I've ever created. I just had Recharge here in Dallas, and people came up and they were just blown away by the FSBO Assault program. Why? Well, because it takes you through step by step by step how to do these things. And the one thing that I'm crystal clear on is you must position yourself as the expert. You must educate and train your people, your buyers, your sellers, educating them on what's next the entire way, because that's where the value is, and that's where they would see that value. Next is persuasion. So there's no doubt that you'll get on the phone. We talked about 68% of FSBOs answering the phone. There's no doubt you're going to get more prospects on the phone. But I'll tell you this, is there's a science to it, and I'm going to take you through how to break this down and really give you the questions to ask, because if you ever hear me on the phone, I ask the same questions over and over again. That's what I do. Why do I do that? Well, because they work. And let me show you why this works. In fact, I'm going to show you how to get a FSBO to tell you yes in less than 8 minutes. But here's what you want to do. You can take write this question down. When you talk to a FSBO the first time, hopefully they've already received something of value from you. They've already received your 90 Things report, your book, right? Your offer, you know, something of value, right? They've already received it. So what we do now is we call. Once we call, we want to know this question. Mr. FSBO, if I brought you a qualified buyer, would you be willing to pay a 3% co-op? The reason I want to know if they're willing to pay a 3% co-op is because if they say yes, then they're halfway home. If they say no, then they're not. Next. Write this word down. Next. 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 Get used to that word, because I'm not outcome-oriented. I'm only action-oriented. I don't care how they answer the questions. All I care is that they answer the questions. And all I want to know is that question right there, number one, is are they willing to pay a 3% co-op? If they say, yes, Haas, I actually am willing to pay a 3% co-op, then I ask the second question, great! How long are you going to try to sell this home on your own before you decide to explore other options? Well, I'm going to list the home, or I'm going to try to sell the home on my own for the next month. If I don't sell the home in the next month, I'm going to explore other options. Perfect. Whatever time frame they give you, you cut it in half, and that's when they're going to list the home. If they say a month, they're listing that home in 2 weeks. If they say, oh, you know, I'm going to explore other options in 60 days, they're going to list in 30. Like clockwork, it happens. So understand that you need to know their time frame, because based on when their time frame is going to dictate when we what? When we apply the more pressure, when we follow up. All those things are going to be applied through those questions. And last is this, is okay, in that 60 days, let's say you do decide to explore other options. Do you have any close friends or family members that you would feel obligated to work with, or will you be up for interviewing some aggressive agents? Well, I guess I'll be up for interviewing some aggressive agents. You know, I don't know anybody. Perfect. Or if they say, you know what, my Aunt Susie is in real estate, so if I explore their options in 60 days, she's probably going to, I'm probably going to list with her. Perfect. These are the 3 questions that you want to get every FSBO to ask at first contact. Your goal is to not get them to list the home with you the first in the first conversation. Your goal is not to even get in front of them the first conversation. Your goal is to get these 3 questions answered and continue with what I'm about to show you. It's that simple, because most people will call them the first time, not ask those 3 questions, sit there and try to sell them on listing their home, beat them down, tell them why it's a bad idea, tell them how hard things are, right? The whole time they're doing that FSBO, just know they're just pushing that agent away, Because who wants to do business with that agent? That agent's the know-it-all. They don't know. Give the person a freaking opportunity to sell their home on their own. In a lot of markets, they're being successful. They're doing it without you. Give them the resources. Be that person that helps them. Next, and I know I went out of order here. I did that for a reason. Next is your execution. So what is this execution? What is the 90-step formula? How do we follow up with the FSBO? Okay, Haas, now I know what to say, but what do I do? What do I mail? How often do I mail? When do I mail? Let me break this down for you, because this is really important. And I mentioned the Red X earlier. If you don't have a lead provider, the Red X is an incredible one. And you can go to showmetheleads.com, showmetheleads.com. They'll waive the $150 setup fee, and you can get the FSBO leads emailed directly to you from the Red X. And they'll waive the setup fees, what they'll waive. All right, break this down. Here we go. 90-day FSBO execution plan. Write it down. There's 3 steps. The first step is full force. We are full force on that FSBO from day 0 to 30. Right? From day 0 to 30, it's full force, and I'll show you how that breaks down. Day 60, or the second is orange level, which is day 0 through 60. So from the second month that seller's on the market, from 0 to 60, this is for day 60, this is orange level. And then 60 to 90 is going to be third gear. That should be 30 to 60, actually. 30 to 60 is orange, and then 60 to 90 is third gear. So think about it like this. The first 30 days, we are in contact with this FSBO like white on rice, like crazy. Day 0, I'm mailing them. I'm mailing the 90 Things report. Day 0, I'm going to call them. Day 7, I'm going to send them a letter. Right? And the FSBO Assault will give you these. I'll show you some examples. Day 7 is call 2. Well, what happens with call 2? Well, call 2 is just following up with the letter they received, following up with also the 90 Things report that they received. You're following up with the thing that you mailed, always following up, always explaining what's next, always implementing or giving the item of value, right? And always following up. And here's what happens. You get, after day 7, when they consumed your info and they've gotten your value and they understand that, and most agents are not in contact after day 7. They're in contact the first 7 days. Things just start to happen. It gets so easy. It gets so easy for these FSBOs, for you, because now the relationship's been established. The longer the FSBO's on the market, the more frustrated they get. So literally, all these little things come together, and you just start to get, that's what happens. Listing. You get the phone call, they're calling you now. Now all this stuff starts to happen. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in my early 20s. My phone's ringing off the hook. I'm going every single day to my office going, I need a new sign. And the receptionist, I remember her name was Barbara. She's like 85 years old. And she looks at me with like the biggest smile. And she's, I'm so proud of you. You're just kicking butt. Right? And I'm like, yeah, Barbara, like every day I'm like, grabbing another sign. And that's exactly the system that I followed. And let me tell you, didn't know anybody. brand new market, doesn't matter. All those things work, but here's what's important, is making sure that your marketing is setting the stage for the next action. Making sure the marketing is always separating you from everybody else and making it really clear. And that's what I want to help you with. I want to help you with the marketing. You could take the system, and you could follow the 9-day system, which is amazing. I want to help you. I just want to give it all to you, right? Like, I want to give you everything, because I believe that there's so many things that you could do, should do, shouldn't do, maybe do, that I just want to just be like, look, here it all is. Just do this, and I promise you're going to get results. And that's what I did. And I did the FSBO Assault Boot Camp, and I did it. It was actually live, a live boot camp that I did just in the last month and a half. And I want to make that boot camp available to you, because this boot camp is literally, I believe, one of the best things that I've ever created, in the sense of agents taking it and using it and applying it. But I'll tell you this boot camp is, I'm going to tell you what is involved. I'm going to open it up for some questions, because I got so many questions here. So let me tell you what comes with this. But before I do that, understand that this FSBO Assault Bootcamp, this is for, if you listen to this webinar, if you're like, man, I understand, I really want to go after FSBOs. Like, this training is for the people who are willing to do the work. This training is for the people who want the path, right? They want the path, and consider me your lamplighter. Like, I'm just giving you the path of that, on a silver platter, and giving you everything you need, but it's up to you to apply it. You apply it, I promise you'll get results. If you don't, you won't. But here's what I'm going to give you, and I'm going to make this available to 30 of you, and there's 30 of you, and there's a lot of people on, and it's a ridiculous offer. So I'm going to give you some bonuses, but these spots are going to go fast. So don't hesitate to go to FSBOassault.com at any time throughout to take action, because once the 30 spots are gone, they're gone. So here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the 4-week live virtual intensive. I'm going to give you all the FSBO marketing material, the 8-point FSBO script, the FSBO marketing plan, all the tools and resources, the FSBO voicemails. I'm going to give you the questions to ask, the bridge questions, the live prospecting calls of me calling FSBOs, taking them from hanging up on me to a listing appointment. I'm going to give you the 90 things you can't afford to neglect when selling your home. You customize this thing, I'm telling you, that thing alone is worth the entire investment. I'm going to give you the 10 things FSBO report. I'll show you some examples of those as well. I'm going to give you also some special FSBO bonuses, a goal tracker, a clarity chart. I'm going to give you all those programs, the Smart Seller program. I'm going to give you, the Certified Pre-Owned program, the FSBO execution plan, all of the emails, swipes, the letter swipes, the mailer swipes, the postcard swipes, the seller discovery sheets, plus way more. Listen, there's so much more in this thing that not even a fraction of what I just said. And here's an example of the goal tracker to track everything, reporting your numbers, having a clarity chart to know what those numbers are. Now, here's what I'm going to give you. Congratulations, Steve. Congratulations, Amy, for taking action. You guys are already doing it. Well done. I'm going to give you some bonuses, because I like over delivering, and every turn. I'm telling you, these bonuses right here are going to be incredible for you. So bonus 1 is I'm going to give you my business planning clinic step-by-step video series. I'm going to give you my business plan, and then I'm going to give you, I'm going to walk you through it. It's actually a live, me on stage taking you through a business planning clinic, planning out the next year. It's incredibly powerful. You get that as a bonus with the boot camp. I'm also going to give you how to get more contracts executed in a competitive buyer's market. I'm going to give you this bonus as well, because a lot of you buyers, agents that are working buyers, you need to listen to what I'm going to tell you, because it's going to save you so much time. I'm going to show you how to get price reductions every time. I have a method for getting price reductions that's literally almost flawless. It's amazing. And I'm going to give you the audio on that, on how to do that, on how to get price reductions every time. And then the 7 surefire strategies to list more homes audio. You guys want, you want to list more homes, then, FSBO is a great source, but there's also others I'm going to share with you as well. And the live listing presentation, me going through my live listing presentation live on video, on stage. I'm going to give you all that as a bonus. By the way, this is only a $297 investment one time. It's a one-time investment. You make it, you guys get all this. Build your library. Take it. Invest in yourself. Invest in your business. You can use this system today, tomorrow, next year, or in 10 years, and it's going to be, it will always work, right? So make those investments in yourself. I'm also going to give you this certified pre-owned program. This program is alone is worth the entire investment again, but I'm going to give it to you as a bonus. If you go to my website, hosspratt.com, you're going to see that thing. It's available for $200, but I'm going to give it to you for free. I'm also going to give you my vault of the best FSBO reports. I believe reports and educational material is one of the best ways to communicate and provide value to a FSBO. And I've created a content library of so many of these things, of these reports that you can use as templates to record videos. You can use them to mail them to, to provide value. You name it. It's incredible. I'm going to give you my vault of those as well. So here's what you get. You get all of it. FSBOassault.com. There's 30 spots. It's one payment of $297. A no-brainer. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't think that this is the best training that you've gone through as far as listing homes, putting signs in the ground, I will refund your money. I don't deserve to keep your money. But I will tell you that once these 30 spots are gone, they're gone. And here's all I ask, is don't fill it out if you're not dead set serious on listing more homes. Like, don't play around. Like, don't take one of those 30 spots if you're not serious, because there's people out there that are dead serious, and those 30 spots are going to fill up. So go to FSBOassault.com, take action, and let me help you take your FSBO game to the next level. Now, let's open it up for a Q&A. So I know that there's tons of questions. I'm going to see Mr. Williams there. William?
Yes, Hoss, there are a ton of questions. Guys, if you have any questions at all, please type them in the question box right now, and Hoss and myself will get the questions answered for you. Myself personally, I have a 7-year-old son at home as well as a 4-year-old son, so to say the time around my house is extremely limited would be a very bold understatement, but I've actually had an opportunity to go through the entire FSBO Assault curriculum, and I can say by far, without a doubt, it is some of the most clear and concise, easy to consume information available to get you FSBO listings starting like tomorrow, the day after, closing transactions, commission checks next month. So guys, go to FSBOassault.com. That's FSBOassault.com. Let's go ahead and open it up for questions because I see a ton of good ones. The first question that I have here is coming from, it looks like Howard. He says, actually this one's coming from my friend Elaine Taft. This is a good one. She says, Hoss, I found that 85% of the sellers that are listing FSBO are on the DNC list. How do you handle that?
Well, I would call them because I'm not selling the FSBO anything. All I'm simply doing is wanting to know if they're working with agents. If I had a qualified buyer, are they willing to pay a 3% co-op? I've never heard of an agent in my entire career. I've done over, like I said, 1,000 live seminars in 48 states. I've been everywhere. I've never heard of a realtor ever getting fined from the do not call, ever. And feel free if you guys have, then shout out, and let us know. But I've never heard of any realtor getting fined for calling the do not call list.
All right, guys, I wanted to congratulate a few people. I wanted to congratulate Cindy Asoka. Congratulations on taking action. Also, Carrie Carlson, congrats on taking actions. James Smith, congrats. The next question that I have here is coming from Gail Tenzer. She says, what if we are traveling and we miss one of your trainings?
Good question. Well, in fact, you're going to get instant access to everything today. So you're not even going to have to wait for it because it's all there waiting for you. And so you can go through it. You have your own login portal. As soon as you take action, you go to FSBOassault.com. You're going to fill out that form, and you're going to do it before the 30 are gone, and then you're going to receive an email that's going to give you instant access to everything, and you're going to see it right away.
Great question. The next question that I have here is coming from, it looks like, I'm going to say Bev Tompkins. She says, Hoss, do you tell us where to get the FSBOs?
Yes, absolutely. And you guys, and plus, in the FSBO Assault, everybody who joins is required to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So we do reserve the right to, as every attendee that is a part of the boot camp is required to sign an NDA, which is just, it's an important form that guarantees that we keep the integrity of the system and integrity of the FSBO Assault together as a group. And so we can't, you don't share any information what you learn in the FSBO Assault. You don't go out there, and use it, because every member will be signing the non-disclosure agreement. And we do that to protect you guys, because this is the best FSBO training in the industry, for sure. So we want to make sure we protect the integrity of it.
Great. I wanted to congratulate a few people if I could. I wanted to congratulate Nancy Mills. Congrats on taking action. It looks like Diana Cowie. Congrats on taking action. Guys, go to FSBOassault.com, FSBOassault.com to take action before it is too late and all of the spots are gone. I got another question here. This one's coming from my friend, looks like Seth. He says, this one is coming from, I'm going to mispronounce that first name, so I'll just jump up with the question. It says, Haas, how do we compete with an agent that is willing to list FSBOs for a couple of $100? Good question.
He's not even going to be competition when you go through the FSBO Assault. So, as you realize in the FSBO Assault, I make your value way more than the MLS. And I encourage you to not only, regardless if you go through the FSBO Assault or not, I would encourage you to, because I believe the industry is changing fast and rapidly in a big way. But if your only value is that you put properties on the MLS, I would look for I'd look for a new industry, because your value is so much more than that. And you need to do, and we got to help you understand what it is and help you communicate it, but then also deliver it. So don't worry about that guy, because that guy is toast anyway. I'm going to show you how to create your own blue ocean where you never have to compete with him again.
Got it, guys. Go to FSBOassault.com to take action. I got a question from Sheila West. She says your link is not working, guys. I just pasted a take action link in the chat box right now, so you can go over there before it is too late. And guys, I wanted to let everyone know, it was not my intention today to bring Haas here and introduce him to you so that we could share a bunch of information, and then tomorrow you could go back to doing the same things you were doing the day before. From a very genuine place, it is my heart and soul's desire to see that you get exactly what you came looking for, not just from your investment in time in this webinar today, but also your investment in the FSBO Assault Bootcamp. So when you go to FSBOassault.com and you scroll to the bottom of the page and you enter your information and you take action, it's not like, here you go, you're on your own. Really, that is just the beginning of the relationship. I've known Haas for going on 4 years, and he's one of those rare individuals that whenever you call him, he always returns my telephone calls. Whenever I send him an email, he always replies back to me. And unfortunately, in this business, that's very few and far between, but that really just comments to the quality of his character. Haas is a genuinely good person, and he cares about the relationships that he builds with people, and I can attest to that based upon the way that he has treated me over the course of the last 4 years. So if you have any interest at all in taking your real estate business to a level that it is producing commission checks consistently month after month, like I know you do, or else you would not be here right now, go to FSBOassault.com to take action. But I got a lot of good questions, guys. The next question that I have here is coming from Paul Molino. He said, I just signed up and I took action. Congratulations, Paul. Cami Davis said, I signed up. Congrats. The next question that I have here is coming from Diana. She says, when do we get access to the training material?
As soon as you fill out that form, you're going to get an email that's going to tell you how to create your login and password, and it's all in there waiting for you.
Perfect, guys. If you have any questions at all, please type in the question box. I wanted to congratulate a few people if I could. I wanted to congratulate Constance French. Congratulations on taking action. Also, Araceli, congrats on taking action. Haas, do you want to go ahead and answer some questions?
Yes. Let's see. What is the link for the Red X when they waive the setup fee? ShowMeTheLeads.com. ShowMeTheLeads.com. And I will also tell you guys, there's also bonuses. William, I appreciate the kind words. I mean, I do care. I believe this. I believe that everything that I offer, is a solution. I truly believe that this will change your life. I really, truly do. And I really 100% mean it when I say there's not another product on the market that's as good as this. I've heard it time and time again, and I create it with that intention. And I do that because I truly do care about really, ascending the industry, making agents better, helping you be more successful, by at the same time giving the consumer what they want. through you. And it's a win-win-win, and you guys are going to get tons of value out of it. But I'll tell you, I'm going to continue to over-deliver even throughout the boot camp as you go through that, because I even talk today about it, but you guys will have an invitation to get to align with many of my lead providers that will be able to provide you with the best data in the industry. In fact, there's a lead source that is said to be the best lead source there is. I've reached out to this person. I've talked to them, and the only people that they're giving access to this lead source currently are people that are in the FSBO Assault Boot Camp, because they believe in it so much. And you'll see that when you get in there. As you go through the training, there's opportunities like that for you that just it's not even fair to it's incredible. So we have those relationships forged, and we're going to help you get up and running with aligning with them. So just take action and have faith and suspend all disbelief, because it literally is everything that you need.
And Michael, I just got a question from Michael. He said, I just took actions. Congratulations, Michael. And I wanted to let everyone know, this webinar right now, this webinar is about you. There is no other motive behind this webinar other than to help you achieve the goal that you set for yourself and your business for 2015 and beyond. And if you walk away with nothing from this webinar, walk away with this. I believe in you. And I believe in what's possible for your career, and I believe in what's possible for your life, and I know you can do it because I have seen other people do it. In the interest of time today, Haas only showed you a couple of testimonials, and what I have seen that you have not are the hundreds of other testimonials of agents that were sitting right where you're sitting right now, took action, and got the results that they're looking for. So guys, go to FSBOassault.com right now to take action. Please, if you have any questions, ask them in the question box. I got questions from a few minutes ago, but I wanted to congratulate a few people. I wanted to congratulate Sheila West. Congratulations on taking action. The next question that I have here is coming from Mike. Mike said that he's going on vacations for 4 months. He says, I'm headed to Mexico on vacation for 4 months. I've signed up. Can I access the program remotely? And the answer to that, Matt, is yes, you can. All of the material is backed up and stored on your membership site so that you can access it whenever you like. The training material is implemented in something that we call video on demand training, so you have access to it whenever you are in your most peak performance moment. Guys, go to FSBO.com. Here's a good one. This one's coming from Michael. He said, Haas mentioned VRBO as a lead source. Can you explain how this is a lead source that we can use to get listings today? Good question, Michael.
It's a really good lead source for some of you, because some of you are in vacation markets and you have a lot of vacation rentals, and VRBO stands for Vacation Rental by Owner. And what they do is you go to VRBO.com, and a lot of the people will put their properties on there where people can rent them. It's a sleeper niche that very few people market to, go after, that I find that through my training of going through that channel lead source, it's exponential results. It's an absolute amazing opportunity for so many of you. Some of you not as much. I mean, you're not in a vacation rental market. Not everybody is. Then it's not as nice, but for some of you, it's actually one of the best things you could possibly come across, and you'll find that out. So that's what VRBO is.
Great. I wanted to congratulate a few people. I wanted to congratulate Tracy Walsh. Congratulations on taking action. Also, Terry Gable. Congrats on taking action. Guys, go to FSBOassault.com, FSBOassault.com, to align yourself with Haas to start taking FSBO listings right now. To get the commission and the income that you deserve. The next question that I have here is coming from, it looks like I'm going to say Terralyn. She says, Haas, if a seller agrees to pay a 3% co-op fee, then how do we as the listing agent get a commission, and how do we sell the seller on that fee? Very good question.
Okay, so repeat that question, the first part of it. I missed it. I was looking at all these comments from VRBO. People are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm in VRBO." There's a lot of you guys commenting on that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, basically what she's asking, she says if you get the FSBO to agree to a 3% buyer's commission, what is the next step to get them to agree to an additional 3% for your listing commission?
Value. So it's halfway home. If they're paying 3%, all you have to do is get them to bump an extra 3% to list the home or whatever it is you charge, right? So, that's the case. So it's value, the bridge between the 3% and whatever it is you charge. In my case, I charge 6, so I had 3% out. They're halfway home. And then to get them to say yes, I just provide a value. I mean, it's worth the extra 3%, right? To be able to, kind of not have to worry about all of it, right? Now we're not dealing with 6%, we're dealing with 3%. It's less money.
I like it. I wanted to congratulate Herman Owens. He said, I just took action, ready for the boot camp. Herman Owens from Sacramento, California. Congratulations, Herman, on stepping up to the plate. The next question that I have is coming from, it looks like Dawn. She says, I took action but did not get a login email. It takes a couple of minutes due to technology, but you will receive your confirmation email shortly with access so that you can get started on listing FSBOs today with the FSBO Assault Bootcamp. Guys, go to FSBOassault.com right now to take action and align yourself with HOTS before the spots are all gone. If you have any questions at all, please type them in the question box. The next question that I have here is coming from Diana. She says, Haas, I took action. When do we get access to the bonuses? Good question.
They're all in there, yeah. So when you log into the FSBO Assault, Diana, you're going to see on the bottom left-hand corner, bonuses. You'll see all of your bonuses in there.
Perfect. Guys, if you have any questions at all, please type them in the question box, and I will make sure to get these questions answered for you. Michael says, I'm in vacation rental by owner Central, South Beach, Florida. Can't wait to get started. Congratulations, Michael, on taking action. Emily says, can't wait to get busy recovering. It seems like this is perfect for me. Congratulations, Emily. The next question that I have here is coming from, it looks like Dana. It says Zillow. Zillow does an auto notify for new FSBOs. Is that not good?
Yeah, it's great. But there's many other sources besides Zillow too. So you want as many of those sources as you can get, because like I said, every phone number, every FSBO phone number to me is money. That's like money, right? So I want to have as much of that data as possible. So absolutely, if you have can set up auto notify from Zillow. I mean, but there's a lot more. Not all FSBOs even advertise on Zillow, so that's one part of it. But there's a lot of other places that they advertise.
That's right, guys. And the reason why Haas offers such a strong money-back guarantee is because Haas knows that he has a step-by-step proven process. When followed, you will get the results that you're looking for. You guys signed up for this webinar, you came to this webinar, you stayed all the way to the end, and that means that you are serious about taking your real estate business in the right direction and earning the income that you know you deserve. Go to FSBO.com to take action. The next question that I have here is coming from, it looks like Janet. She says, I went directly to the website. Do I get the bonuses? Haas.
Yes, you do. Yes,
absolutely.
You just have to log in right there, and you log in right to your left. All the way bottom to the left, you'll see all the bonuses.
Absolutely, you get the bonuses, Janice. And myself personally, I have been doing these weekly webinar presentations going on almost 3.5 years, something like 260 webinar presentations. And some people with me on the webinar right now have been with me on every single one of those presentations. And I want to let everybody know that that means a tremendous amount to me. The only thing that we care about are your results. That is the only thing. There is no other motive behind this webinar other than to help you achieve the goals that you set and get you the results that you know you deserve in your business. Guys, go to FSBOassault.com to take action before it's too late. If you have any questions at all, please type them in the question box. I wanted to congratulate a few people if I could. I wanted to congratulate John Hanna on taking action. I also wanted to congratulate Betty Cope. Congrats on taking action, stepping up to the plate. Jan Harrington, congratulations on taking action. The next question that I have here is coming from, it looks like, let's see, Helen. Helen says that she clicked the link and she's getting an error. Helen, I just pasted the take action link in the chat box, so for whatever reason it's not working, you can click the link or you can go to FSBOassault.com. And then also Cheryl is asking, she said that, she said, Haas, you mentioned a book to give to the FSBOs. Where do we get that book from? Good question, Cheryl. Haas, how do you feel about that?
Moving forward, 25 essential rules of buying and selling real estate without going crazy. You can go to publishedagent.com, and you could learn how you can become an author of your own book.
Great.
That book is actually my book that I wrote.
Nice. And you cover that in the boot camp?
Yep, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah,
guys.
the boot camp's going to be, because positioning is going to be a big part of what we do in the boot camp, because I believe positioning is the number one thing that you can do, the number one thing that you need to do, for your business is position yourself. So, and I see this other question, are you going to give me the 90 Things report? Yeah, so like I'm going to give you a lot of these positioning tools that you're going to use in the boot camp without having to write your own book. So obviously a book is a huge positioning tool, but wait till you see your picture on the cover of that 90 Things report and it gets printed and it looks glossy and nice, and you mail that and you see what that does. It's going to be really powerful, and every one of you guys that are in the FSBO Assault are going to get it. So you'll have that in the 90 Things report, and you can customize it and put your picture on it. Plus, I show you a bunch of other examples of other members that use that have customized it. You can get an idea of what you can do with it for yourself as well.
Great. Paul says, I signed up. Congratulations, Paul, on taking action. Guys, if you have any questions at all, please type in the question box. You can go to FSBOassault.com to take action before it's too late. The next question that I have here is coming from Helen Parker. She said that she registered but was redirected to another website. Helen, you're going to get your access link in your email box shortly. I wanted to congratulate a few people. I wanted to congratulate Jeffrey Walker. Congratulations on taking action. Marilyn, congrats on taking action. Haas, do you have any questions that you'd like to answer?
Yeah, I want to make sure that you guys know that you're going to get access to this, and it's going to be, Jim, it's going to be part of your library. One of the favorite quotes I love from Jim Rohn is, rich people have big libraries and poor people have big TVs. And I've always lived by that. Like, I've always invested in myself. Like, for me, I know I'm the biggest buyer there is. Like, I buy all the trainings. I buy all the books. I buy all the seminars. I buy all the coaching. I buy all the workshops. I buy it all, and I always have. And you ask anybody that knows me, I'm always the biggest buyer in the room. Why? Because I don't know what I don't know. And I've always been taught from the beginning that, look, always stay learning-based. Always be looking for models to follow. Always be looking for ways to improve. And this is a way for you in real estate as an agent to be able to have a tool that you can forever have in your library, that you can always fall back on, that will always provide results, that will always be an inspiring and educational thing to go through, and a system and a business in a box for $297. If you don't see value in that, then there's value in nothing, because that is a no-brainer for the value you're going to get for the system. I mean, all it takes is one listing. I mean, think about it. Do you think I could get you one listing out of this entire training? I mean, if I can't, then I wouldn't even be in this industry. I wouldn't even be in the business, and people wouldn't come to me from all over the place to learn how to grow their business. It wouldn't happen. This is simply my token of appreciation for you, to be able to give you a system to be able to go out there and use that will drive results, because it's a lifetime value. I know that I'll see you again once you go through the FSBO Assault Bootcamp.
Great. The next question that I have here is coming from Janet Helms. She says, I came in late. Guys, I wanted to see if there was a place where I could take action. Yeah, you can go to FSBOassault.com, which is FSBOassault.com, or I just pasted the Take Action link in the chat box, and you can click that link before the spots are gone. If you have any questions, please type them in the question box, and we will get these questions answered for you. I wanted to congratulate a few people if I could. I wanted to congratulate, it looks like, Joe Parsons, congratulations. Also, Melinda, congrats on taking action. The next question that I have here is coming from Janet Elm. She says, I took action, want to see if I can hear this from the beginning. Yes, you have access to a copy of this presentation in the members area, so if you wanted to reconfirm some of the notes that you took, we can do that for you at that time. Cammie Davis says, thanks guys, I'm excited and can't wait to take action and start listing FSBOs. The next question that I have here is coming from Jennifer Dempsey. She says, how is this different than the Listing Boss? That's a good question.
Good question. Thank you for asking that question too. The Listing Boss is a 12-week step-by-step business-in-a-box system that covers everything from vision, goals, all that, right? It covers, as you guys know, that are in the Listing Boss. The Listing Boss is a timeless system. It's incredible. But this is, think of, in the Listing Boss, we have a FSBO part of it that's 1 week. This is 4 weeks. This is, the entire thing is just way more specific to FSBO. So, it's more of the FSBOs than what Listing Boss was, but together they go hand in hand, right? So if you have Listing Boss, then just know that this is going to be a really good complement to it. And if you don't have it, then this will, either way, there's still tremendous value.
Now, I wanted to actually ask you a question, Haas. This webinar is winding down, guys. I wanted to ask you a question. You in your tenure have been in a position where you had no listings, you had no business, and then you went from having no business to essentially listing 28 homes in 28 days. Can you tell me what that's like for my friends that are listening? What did that do for your personal life? What did it do for your finances? And how did you go from where you were to where you are? Can you tell me what that experience was like?
Dude, I'll tell you this. Yes, I can. It was exciting. It was so exciting. I remember thinking the fear of going, man, like my first 6 months, I took no listings, no buyers, no sellers, nothing, right? And I spent $50,000 on God only knows what. I mean, I should probably do a whole session on what not to spend your money on. William, let's make a note. How I wasted 50 grand and how you can avoid doing the same. And how you would do that is make the investment here now to avoid wasting the 50 grand is the answer, okay? But I'll tell you the difference is it's almost like, I remember literally Barbara, I told this story in the webinar. I used to go in from struggling, every day. I looked like I was 17 years old. I was in a market where I didn't know anybody. And then all of a sudden, I'm listing homes. I'm listing homes and listing homes. Probably the biggest thing in the 30 days, William, besides my bank account, because my bank account, it hurt worse because I remember buying all of my signs and lock boxes, right? I remember telling my coach, hey, coach, look, I'm buying like signs and lock boxes every day. I need to start selling these things. He's like, Haas, that's a good problem to have. Then the home started selling. And it was almost like a domino effect. It was just, my life's never been the same since then. But it was even more so the confidence that I felt in that 30 days, the confidence of how good I felt about what I was doing, the work that I was doing, actually getting results, not feeling so beat down every day. I felt empowered. I felt like I was following a model that worked. I felt like I was following a system that got me results. And I knew immediately my life would never be the same. I knew immediately because I knew that, oh my gosh, this really works. I can go anywhere and do this. And there's nothing like that feeling of having that freedom.
Now, for all my friends that have taken action, they went to FSBOassault.com. They entered their information. They pressed submit. Can you kind of walk them through the process? What happens next?
Yeah, so here's what happens. So once you go to FSBOassault.com, you fill out your information. You get off your butt and put in your credit card to take action. what happens is you're going to receive a login. A login is going to go to your email, or an email is going to go to your email with instructions on how to create your login. It's literally, you just click the link I send you, you fill out your name and your email, and you choose your password, and then you log in to FSBO Assault. You go through FSBO Assault, or you get logged into FSBO Assault. You're going to click the non-disclosure agreement to sign it, to say, I will not disclose anything that you teach me in this HOS, and I respect the integrity of the other members too. So, you know, we're not going to discuss the FSBO Assault. That's the non-disclosure is about. And then you're going to fill that out, and then you just dive right into it. You start devouring the content. You start customizing the material. You start doing everything that I tell you to do. And in the first week, there's a lot of customization. There's a lot of, I give you the reports. I give you all those things. So like you're kind of building your little system. And then we start executing it week 2. And then after week 2, and I start giving you all these things and layering everything in to week 2, where after you go through it, you literally will have a system that you will always be able to fall back on, and you'll always have it. And I lay it all out throughout those 4 weeks, but I give you everything on a silver platter. Like, anybody could go through this. Anybody can go through this and understand this. Like, the difference is are you going to do what I tell you to do in it? And the results truly do come down to that, is how much do you want? How much are you willing to apply? And you have the system and everything you need to do it as much as you want.
I like it, guys. It looks like we have a couple of spots left. You can go to FSBOassault.com to align yourself with Haas personally so that you can start taking FSBO listings. This webinar is coming to a close. So Haas, I wanted to thank you for coming. You speak from a position of authority, and I wanted to thank you for coming and sharing your expertise with my friends. And I also wanted to tell my friends, again, how much it means to me to have you be a member of my community. I hold my relationship with you in a very special place. And, you know, you came here for a reason. So, guys, go to FSBOassault.com before it is too late. We are going to leave this slide up for the next 5 minutes so you can go and place your order. But with that, thank you so much for coming today. Go out, conquer the day, be bold, make things happen, take action.